Hello, 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 and welcome to the BFA Baby podcast. As always, I am your host, Taylor Hartman, and we're going to jump right into it today. It is a very special episode, something I teased 2 episodes back. This is going to be the performance episode. Now, in my notes, I have things about pre-performance, day of, and post-performance recovery, so I am very excited to hop right into it. And this is really fitting because I am actually going and performing right after I film this. I am performing for adjudication for our fall dance concert. I am in a student choreographed tap piece, shout out Hallie. And yeah, we're getting them adjudicated today, see if they'll be selected for the concert. Just a heads up, I am getting over being sick, so if you hear that in my voice, I'm sorry about it. But let's just get right into it. So, a few bullet points I have for pre-performance are workouts, food, and training. Now, something I have adopted into my life has been dancers eat and train, they do not diet and exercise. And what I mean by that is that we use food as our fuel, and we need a lot more food because we're dancing 40 some odd hours a week. We're doing 12-hour days most days. You know, you need food and you need that energy to be able to get through that. And so if you think about it in terms of eating and training rather than diet and exercising, you can get out of that really restrictive mindset that I think a lot of us have a tendency to fall into. So for workouts, if you know me, if you follow the Instagram or the TikTok, you know that I love working out. I go to the gym nearly every day. I take the stairs in my apartment all the way up to the 14th floor. I love moving my body. I love how it helps my dancing. It makes me feel good about myself. We cleared out that mind, everything. And I think my biggest piece of advice is to obviously keep your workout, keep your cross training, but I kind of personally like to ease out the week of the performance. So I'll ramp, find my performance, like stamina, endurance, everything I like to feel before I go on stage. And then that week of the show, slowly taper it off. And I do this so I don't kill my body before the performance, you know. Cross training is great. I'm going to do a whole episode on cross training here in the future. Cross training is awesome, but the fear is that, you know, it's not always... The fear is that you, cross training is awesome, but the fear is that, you know, you run your body out training and dancing, and that's great for building strength and stamina, and you want to work that on your body, but obviously when you're performing, that's a lot more physical effort than anything else. So I kind of like to ease up that working out leading up to the show. So typically in a day, let's see, I'm technically performing today, so I've kind of been easing up. I've also been easing up because I've been sick. So let me not use me as an example. Let's use me like in a month for fall dance concert. I'm going to keep my workout. I already got a pretty good stamina workout that I do to get me going for the show. And then week of show, obviously we're teching. I'm still going to go to the gym, but we're going to do something light. We'll do like a light Pilates. Maybe we'll swim in sauna. Maybe we'll just do a walk on the treadmill, like a little incline walk, rolling hills. You know, something where the first time you move your body that day isn't the tech, the dress, the show, but it's not so much moving your body that like you're just exhausted and you can't give your best at tech, dress, show. So that's really important to me, is that we're still moving our body. The first time we move our body is not when we are in the space, but we also kind of come into we know where our bodies are sitting that day. We know where our center of gravity is. I'm going to move my mic up here so I can sit up. We know where our center of gravity is that day. We know where how our bodies are feeling after a week of tech or dress or whatever. So just kind of easing it out, the workouts before performance is like my favorite thing to do. And my next bullet point is diet. Like I said in the cold open, we eat and train, we do not diet and exercise. Obviously, there are going to be foods that make you feel better to dance on, that make you feel worse to dance on. I like to, while not being restrictive, I do like to eat foods that I know will settle well, give me energy, but just kind of, chill me out. Before performances, well, I guess we're talking pre-performances. Pre-performances, obviously, I usually am really just eating like I usually do. Coming to tech, I obviously get a little more voracious as we are rehearsing all night, and I'll come home and nom and eat like 1,000,001, literally just anything that's in the apartment. Obviously, after tech, I'll snack, I'll eat some ice cream, make a root beer float in the apartment, something good, rewarding after the shows or after tech. Obviously, because, and then your body at that point is just so depleted that you really need to start picking up on that. And if it's a little bit of sugar before bed, it's not going to kill you. You worked really hard today. But yeah, we'll kind of get more into it on day of conversation. But, just eating normal meals, I like. Currently, my favorite lunch is kind of like what I like to call an adult Lunchable, in which it's apples and carrot slices with peanut butter, and then we have like pita bread and like a little wrap in there, maybe some cheese. I'm kind of in like a snacking era for real. Like just big grazing platters to just snack on. I'd be doing that. I'd be dipping stuff in peanut butter. Making sure I hit all my food groups, but I don't always have to sit down and be like, this is my plate, and this is a sandwich, and this is my side, and this is this. I'm kind of in a snacking era, and like I feel like that's easier for me on the go. That's easier for me to make sure I'm getting all my food groups in, all my nutrients in, so that my body can function at the high rate that I want it to function at. And obviously what works for me might not work for you. I'm flashing some lights, disclaimer. I am not a registered dietitian. I'm just sharing what works for me, and that might be different for your body. So take all this with a grain of salt. This is just kind of to inspire you to look at your own health and wellness routine going into shows, during shows, and after shows, just to kind of see how you operate and see what you like. And then you can help out your friends along the way. Yeah, and then lastly, so I'm kind of in a snacking era. And then lastly is training. So obviously this is different than our workouts. This is our like classes, rehearsals, all those good things. And I think the biggest thing is to balance it out. Again, if you know that you have a really jump heavy show, if you have a really turn heavy show, if you have a really, if the show puts a lot of strain on your back, take it easy in your warm-up class. Warm-up class is for you, right? Warm-up class is for your body, for you to feel the stage. It is for you to work and learn and feel how your body is going to operate that day. And if if your calves are feeling tight, and you just need to take the jumps on stage easy so that you can do the jumps. If you need to take the in-class jumps easy so that you can do the jumps on stage to your fullest potential, then that's ideal. That's what you want. Warm-up class is for you, and I think that a lot of dancers fall into a habit of, getting that performance adrenaline going and not really knowing when to calm themselves down, and then by the time the curtain is up, you're so ramped up and you're going, and you can't even dial in to like your body and what's going on. And like honestly, that was me for the longest time. I would be so anxious and so nervous, a little, not really nervous anxious, but like excited anxious, and I'd be so ready to go on stage, and I got the adrenaline pumping, and I would just go on stage and black out. And not that I don't black out on stage now, because I do kind of, like, there are times when I'm on stage and I'll get off and I have no idea what just happened to me. But there are I am able now to kind of rein in my adrenaline and let it fire off when I want it to. You know, instead of just being like all adrenaline all day long, I'll kind of have those nerves, that excitement, but with all my years of performing, I'm kind of able to talk myself down from going 0 to 60 the second I wake up. You know, that's what that workout comes into. You know, you kind of ease into the day. You take your day as normally as possible so that your brain doesn't think that you are in complete fight or flight mode, which is important, because if you immediately wake up and you're like, it's a big day, I'm performing, I gotta do da-da-da-da-da, and you're running around, your brain is gonna immediately think there's danger and that you're fighting something off. And it's obviously not gonna be good, because then by the time you get to the stage, your brain is so worn out, your body is so worn out because you've stressed it out. And that's taken up until probably senior year of high school, freshman year of college for me to really hone in on. But I'm very proud of the work that I've done to be able to wake up, take my day as usual, and then just go for it. And I think that also comes with, well, we'll kind of touch on this in the post-show topic, but I think that also comes with the knowledge of, I don't put as much worth on my shows anymore. You know, when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, and I was in high school, my worth was how I did on stage. If I had a bad show, I was a bad person, which is crazy to think about, but like that was truly what my mindset was. And within the last year or two, I've really been able to be like, it's literally all fake. Like, it's not fake, like it's important, you know, but to a degree, we are playing pretend. And to a degree, us playing pretend is to satisfy the audience. Obviously, we get some, like, creative satisfaction out of it. But the audience doesn't know the choreography. The audience doesn't know your lines. You know, the audience doesn't know your blocking. So if you flub up on something, but then you keep the show going, it's really not the end of the world. The audience still had a good time. You know, the show went on. The show was good. Obviously, if you get a note about it, obviously take your note and fix it. But if it was like so minuscule that no one, if not even your scene partner noticed, and it's just like you internalizing that mistake, that's going to ruin the rest of the show for you. You're not going to perform your best. And I think, obviously, it takes time. You can't just wake up tomorrow and be like, my performance doesn't mean that I'm a good or bad person. And, like, obviously, in an ideal world, that would happen. But, you know, you can't really, you got to kind of slowly teach yourself and remind yourself that your performance is not your end-all, be-all of what you're doing and what you're learning and loving. And you will consistently learn and grow, and things will get better, and that will benefit your performance as you grow as a human outside of your performance. But while we are on that topic, let's talk about day of performance. I kind of already talked about it. I like to not just kind of treat it like any other morning. I do like to wake up a little earlier, though. Just kind of have the morning to relax, chill, get that little baby workout in, set my intention for the day, set my body for the day. I'm kind of getting into meditating low-key. Like, before some shows last year, I did some meditation, and it was really nice. I would really like to get back into that. You know, wake up early, have the morning to yourself. I personally like to get ready before I go to the theater. There's something to me very therapeutic about the process of doing your stage hair and your stage makeup. And I personally like to do it by myself. I like to have a podcast playing, just kind of zone in, get ready. I know some people like the energy of a dressing room when everyone's working together, but I kind of like that quiet, like silence, tune in, tap into your brain, set your intention for the day. I really like that energy when it comes to it. Yeah, so I personally like to get up early, kind of spend the morning by myself, really work, just kind of tuning into my body, getting myself ready, I like to listen to a podcast that has nothing to do with what I'm doing that day. I listen to a lot of great arts podcasts. I listen to Dear Hollywood. Is it Angie Helps Actors? If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pulling up my podcast app. Helps Act. Audrey Helps Actors podcast. I listen to No Film School, the Hardcore podcast, 10 Years Out, The Pictures Got Small. You know, all of these, like, art-related podcasts. And for me personally, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I like to listen to something that will just kind of take my brain and go. My favorites to get ready to are Ear Biscuits with Rhett and Link. That's, like, my favorite podcast. Popcorn Culture with Ben and Jay Carlin. Very Really Good by Curtis Connor. And then I'm also liking Through the Gryffindor, which is a Harry Potter, like, reread podcast in the vein of, like, a rewatch podcast where, like, stars of the shows will go back and watch the show and give you, like, insider secrets. Ben and Jay Carlin of Popcorn Culture have gone back. They, like, grew up with Harry Potter, and they are going back and reading it and then, like, talking about the stories, what they know now, how it felt when they were first reading it. And, like, I was a big Harry Potter kid. I still am. And it just kind of warms this place in my heart, and I'm always very excited to hear Through the Gryffindor. So getting ready to something that kind of takes my brain somewhere else is really important to me and how I operate. But maybe that's different. Maybe you want to hear something about the industry. Maybe you listen to BFA Baby while you're getting ready for a show. Who knows? But I quite like podcasts to get ready to. So part of my waking up early involves a coffee routine. And that sounds so pretentious, and I know it does, but, like, let me have this pretentious artist moment. My pre-show coffee is a science. This is, like, a thing that I do. So I brew some coffee in my little Mr. Coffee iced coffee maker. Shout out Megan for getting me that for Christmas. So I will make my coffee, and I'll ice it. So I make the coffee itself. I brew the coffee itself the night before because I like my coffee ice cold, like nearly freezing. So I make my coffee the night before, like nearly freezing, cold in the morning. And so I brew it in the morning. I brew 3 shots. 3 shots of espresso worth of coffee. And then I'll put it in the fridge. And I'm like, cool. In the morning, I make ice cubes out of chocolate protein shakes. So I'll, like, crack some of those in there, and then I'll pour the rest of a chocolate protein shake into my coffee. Mixy, and drink it. It's kind of like a mocha, but you got that espresso going for you. You got that extra protein to get your body going. I'm really into my protein shake coffee. Sometimes if I'm feeling spicy, I'll put some whipped cream on top if it's, like, the last show. You know, we made it. But no, my coffee routine is very pretentious, and I know it's pretentious saying that I have a coffee routine, but, like, it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm investing in myself. We talked about this with the self-care back in the choreography episode, you know, but it's always something good to wake up to. You know you're going to have your coffee ready. It's one less thing you have to do in the morning, and it's exciting to have, like, a special little coffee on performance days, you know. And if maybe you're not a caffeine person, I'm a big caffeine girly, but, you know, to each their own. Next is something that I hold close to my heart, early arrival. Now, if you know me in real life, you know that I have literally always been early to everything ever. Like, I have consistently been early to everything ever. And by that, I mean, when I was a child, I was like, we gotta get there early, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a big early person. I love being early. I think it's a sign of respect, but it's also good for you and your body, especially on performance days. Early arrival, you can find your spot in the dressing room. The theater is still nice and quiet. You know, the hustle and bustle isn't going on right now. Again, that kind of just, like, finding your body, tapping into what you feel, what you know, what you love, is very important to me in my day of routine. But I think that early arrival, you can kind of feel the space out, test the stage out on your own before you go, and if you take warm-up class on stage or whatever. And I think that that's really important. And that early arrival, again, you have time to enjoy your coffee, feel the stage out, get into your body. I'm, if you can't tell, a very, blinders on person when I'm performing. So a lot of this is tuned to how I like to operate, but if you're someone who's more extroverted and more social, you might want to, be with the people and warm up with each other and get ready with each other. And to each their own, of course, but if you are a more introverted performer, I would recommend trying out the routine that I'm detailing for you. And this early arrival also allows time to stretch yourself out. This is a great time, like I said when we were talking about class, tap into how your body is feeling. If your calves are really tight, maybe you go easier on the releves. If you're feeling a lot in your shoulders, maybe you have time to roll out. You have time to maybe even heat before you go to class. This is a good time to tap into not just how your body is feeling, but really operate and learn what you need to do to your body to be successful later in the afternoon or evening, matinee, whatever, depending on if you have a matinee or an evening performance. And this is really a great time. I like to stretch before and after class. I'll do a little warm-up, a little jumping jacks, some high knees, hamstring, like the scoop things, quad stretches, just to get the muscles warm, and then I'll really ease into what my body needs for that day. For fall dance concert last year, there was a lot of motion on our hands and on our backs. We were playing Cats. Not quite Cats the musical, but somewhere in that vein. And, I spent a lot of my pre-show time, rolling out the wrists, stretching out the fingers, making sure that everything was nice and articulated. And I really focused on my back. I was rolling her out. Pre-show, intermission, after the show, which we'll get to. I was really, really working on her to keep her safe and strong while I was dancing, because there was a lot of work on my back, and I left the shows feeling good every night, which is the goal. The goal is to obviously prepare so that when you perform and you leave, you feel good, which we'll talk more about in the post-show section, which I keep alluding to. It's going to be this amazing section, but it's just post-show stuff. But, yeah, so getting there early allows you to sink in, allows you to stretch, talk to your body, see what your body needs from you that day. And, yeah, it's kind of my favorite thing. Again, earbuds in, podcast. Maybe I might have some hype music going on at this point. I have, a hype playlist, a pre-show hype playlist. So that might be going on in the ears right now. But, yeah, just once again tuning into my body before the chaos of a performance day descends upon you. Lastly, on the day of notes, I have my pre-show rituals, and I am very into these. I am someone that I consider myself to be very superstitious. And we kind of talk about this, we have talked about this in my apartment, that I'm not a religious person, but I am a superstitious person. In which, I mean, my agnostic beliefs, I was going to say agnosticism, but I don't think that's a word. My agnostic beliefs, I think that there is something out there, but I don't know if it's God in the traditional sense, traditional Christian Catholic sense, Anyways, I am really superstitious, especially when it comes to performing and, auditions and stuff. I think that leans into my, I think there's something out there that can, give us a hand, kind of not control, but, give us a hand, kind of knows what's going to happen type beat. So I have a lot of pre-show rituals. My coffee routine is a bit of a pre-show ritual for me. I feel like if I don't have that coffee or I don't have something similar, my body just, we're not getting going. And obviously that's a very, psychosomatic thing. But, sometimes I'm I really need my body to get going today. Kind of the routine of it all. And then I think kind of my stretching alone, my warming up alone, checking in with my body alone. That kind of, isolation is a very strong word, but that kind of, I'll say isolation, that kind of isolation has been really important for me being able to know what my body wants and feel confident and safe in my body to then go on stage, which has been really nice. I'm very big on, if I'm in point shoes specifically for a show, I'll do a little, oh my god, this is gonna be so gross, but I'll pour some water on the ground, tap the box of my shoe in it, spit, tap the box of my shoe in it, and obviously I'll clean the floor up before, like, we go on stage, but get nice and, sticky, I'll run that out through class, da-da-da-da. Right before stage, we'll rosin the heels, we'll rosin the boxes, I'll sew my point shoes to my tights, or I'll sew them to themselves if I'm not in tights. I've never had a ribbon come out on stage, that's a fact. Knock on wood. Oh, you can already see my superstitions coming through. Knock on wood, but I've never had a ribbon come out on stage, and I think it's because I take so much time and care with my point shoes. I'll sew them, I'll prep them, I'll rosin them up, And I think another thing that I really like to do is, and I learned this at Brooklyn Ballet Theater, shout out Brooklyn Ballet Theater, I really like Married in a Kiss. So if you don't know, Married in Ballet is, it's French for shit, if you it is French for shit, if you didn't know, and this comes from the time where people would bring horse and buggies to the theater, and if there's more horse shit on the ground outside the theater, that means there are more people coming in the horse buggies, meaning more people in the audience at your show. So ideally, outside of a theater, you want a lot of horse shit on the ground so that you could then have a lot of people in your audience. So, Married in a Kiss, it's kind of just become like a good luck type thing. Side superstition, I think that saying good luck is bad luck, but that's just kind of like a bunch of people down the line have always done that, so Married in a Kiss, at Brooklyn, we would stand on stage in a big circle and be married in a kiss, and you would kiss the cheek of the person next to you. Married in a kiss, mwah. Married in a kiss, mwah. Married in a kiss, mwah. Like all the way around the circle. And it was just so sweet, and I think that we should normalize kisses, but, like, that's a whole other thing. But, normalize kissing your friends. But it is really important, and it was just kind of a moment where we all felt connected. We were holding hands, we were all sharing the same good luck, and merit is so intrinsically tied to the history of what we love to do, and I just love it. Married in a Kiss is, like, everything. So, like, a few friends around the theater, I'll be like, married in a kiss, and we'll tap cheeks, or we'll kiss top of the head, or we'll kiss a cheek, if obviously you can't just, like, go up and kiss someone on the cheek. Like, obviously, if it's been, like, something that we've established, like, a consent check-in, obviously it's important. But a lot of the times it's married in a kiss, and you, like, kind of tap cheekbones, like a mwah, married in a kiss, like, this way. But married in a kiss is a really big one for me, and I kind of take it back to my Brooklyn days, and I love that I still do it. It makes me feel connected to my cast, connected to my castmates. Also pre-show rituals, I really enjoy, I'm really big on, like, a snack. Obviously, like, not obviously, this is just me, again, I'm not a registered dietitian, but I am not somebody that can eat a full meal and just, like, go out on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna eat my meal before company class, before warm-up class, and then I'm just gonna, like, lightly snack throughout the afternoon leading up to the evening or whatever, if it's an evening show. My body just doesn't work like that. And it might work like that for you, but I always do better with a big meal in, like, the late morning lunchtime, a little, like, early lunch, and then just kind of snacking throughout the day. Something I've added into my pre-show ritual with these snacks are electrolytes. I had never really considered them beyond, like, that's the stuff in Gatorade, that you drink when you're sick. And I never really considered electrolytes until very recently, when I saw what other people did in college before shows. And I remember you do the ones you put in your water and you just kind of feel a little better. You feel a little replenished, especially if you're doing a really heavy show and you're sweating a lot and your body's just like losing everything all the time. Electrolytes have been good, and I'm excited to kind of dabble more into that, my pre-show routine. But yeah, I like to snack. I'm big on bananas. My body does really well on bananas. I mean, maybe a little peanut butter, get some protein, some like oomph in there. I really enjoy, oh man, bananas are a big one. I do like to have something sweet. I have a massive, massive, massive sweet tooth. I do like to have something sweet. So maybe like a little cookie, a muffin. Oh, I love muffins. Maybe a muffin, like a little muffin. Something sweet, get some sugar in me, kind of get me excited, get me going. But yeah, so snacking is a big pre-show ritual. I'm starting to get into electrolytes. You know, just really doing what your body needs. And if your body needs something different every single day that you perform, that's totally fine, and that makes sense. You know, your body needs different things all the time. So, congratulations, you just finished your pre-show ritual and you went on stage. The performance rocked, but now it's time to take care of yourself. It is time for post-performance. It is time for aftercare. This is the biggest thing to me because for so long I didn't know anything. I would just let my body crash at the end of the day. And then you feel like shit because your body was running, and then just stopped. And you suddenly feel everything. You feel the toenails you broke off, the sore muscles. If it was a really long show and you didn't get to eat for a long time, you feel how hungry you are. The headache starts to set in from the bun or the hairstyle. You start to see your fake eyelashes when you blink. You know, things that are kind of masked by the general adrenaline of a performance. However, it is really becoming that fall off, that immediate crash sucks, and you can't get to sleep, and it's taken me a long time to learn how to kind of ease out of it. So I'm happy to share this with you guys because it is important to me that you guys don't suffer as long as I did coming down after a show. So my first thing is rest/adrenaline come down, which I just kind of alluded to. If you are going from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. when your show wraps, that's a lot of adrenaline and a lot of things that your body has kind of thrown an X up, not to tell you because the adrenaline's blocking everything. That's a lot for your body to come down off of, and then everything immediately sinks in. And that is just a disgusting feeling. You feel bad. Every time I have like a really sharp adrenaline come down, I always want to start crying. And I think it's just because like all the emotion of performing, you blacked out and it's all coming back to you, you know? So I think to avoid that, obviously, just like you had a cool, like a warm up routine, have a cool down routine. Stay in the theater a little longer. Eat a snack, drink some electrolytes, roll out, you know, take your time getting your shoes off. Don't rush to get out of the theater and go home. I know you can be really hungry, but I just kind of like to ease out of it, you know, kind of take yourself out of that mind space. Just like you were tuning in, start tuning out. I literally have a cool down playlist. It's called Post-Show Prayers, and it's just like all just kind of vibey music, nice and low, nice and slow, just kind of coasting down. And then obviously go get food. You probably haven't had like a reasonable meal if your body works anything like mine. You probably haven't had a reasonable meal in a hot minute. So go get food, get something big, get a big meal. You know, if you're performing the next day, obviously get yourself something that you'll feel good performing on. But no, just go eat. Your body needs all of that energy. It just worked so hard and did so much for you. Thank it with a good meal. If you're of age, maybe a drink. I'm not a big drinker. I'm also not of age, but it's not really for me. But maybe it is for you. I know a lot of performers that like a little nightcap and they just kind of pass out. Just kind of go right to bed. But yeah, just kind of do whatever you need to ease yourself down and then replenish your body for all the hard work that it just did. And then prioritize rest. I think, like, that night, a lot of times, especially in college, people like to go out after the shows. And like I talked about a few episodes back, I'm very big on bedtime, especially when I'm performing. I'm a big sleeper. I really like to have, like, a good set bedtime. And that just helps me prepare. And I think that could go back to pre-show, like getting a good night's rest before your show. To me and my body is very important. And I think a lot of people will tell you the same thing, that it's important. And yeah, I think that the feeling and the energy of a good night's sleep will help you benefit your next performance or whatever you have going on the next day. So prioritizing rest is really important for me. And I think to get into that place where my body and my mind feels calm enough to settle down, I think would be part of, I like to take a good shower, a good massage. In college, I was introduced to Theraguns, and I like to borrow people's Theraguns and roll out my muscles. Foam rollers, ice baths are big ones. I love icing my feet after a show. Take a nice hot shower and then cold shower on your muscles. Heat packs, if anything's tight, rolling out. Like, really taking time to invest in the care of your body and lean yourself into that place of relaxation where your body feels nice and warm and comfortable and you feel nice and warm and comfortable. And then you can just kind of easily coast off to sleep. And something I really like also that I talked about was tart cherry juice. It has that natural melatonin. It's a bit of a routine. You know, my body knows if I'm going to pour this cute little glass of juice and I'm going to drink it, it's getting ready to go, time for bed, you know. And then, like, skincare. Stage makeup is bad for you, just, like, in general. That's a lot of makeup and sweat and grime that you've built up on your skin. Really take some time to, you know, wash your face, cleanse it, all that fun stuff. Really take some time to do that, because if, you know, you have clean skin, your makeup will apply better tomorrow, but also you'll just feel clean and fresh, and you can get into your bed and not have to worry about, like, getting foundation all over your pillow and silly stuff like that, you know. Just kind of really resetting your body, acting like it is going to be a new day, but, you know, just like you took the morning very calmly, you're going to take the evening very calmly. Really invest in your body. Eat good food. Massage it out. Ice bath it out. Take care of it so that in the morning, when you inevitably have to do it all over again, your body isn't dead and exhausted in the water from everything you did the night before. You know, I know people that do a show, go out, go to bed, wake up, do a show, go out, go to bed, wake up, and that, I mean, props to them if their body works like that, but my body simply, like, could never keep up with that. You know, my body will get tight and it will get sore, and then it'll be harder for me to perform. You know, just taking a lot of care of my body is something that I've really embraced. These past 2 years, and kind of going into a new performance season here at college, like, taking care of yourself, and I want to end on this note as we talk about aftercare. Taking care of yourself after a performance is not selfish. Skipping that function after the show is not selfish. You know what your body needs best, and if your body needs social interaction after a show, amazing. Chase those dreams. But if your body is like mine and your body needs to kind of cool down and relax after a show, it's not selfish of you to go and make that happen for yourself, you know. And I think when you get into, like, an adult performing space, like a college, you know, everyone is on their own and kind of has known what their body needs. There's a lot less judgment for, like, if you're going to go out, if you're going to go home, like, what you're going to do after a show. You know, everyone appreciates that you know what's best for your body, and that's one of my favorite things about college this far. So it is not selfish to take care of yourself. It is not selfish to relish in yourself before and after a performance. Your body has worked so hard, And not only have you physically worked hard, you have emotionally worked hard. And over a period of rehearsal, like no matter how much rehearsal, if you had 2 weeks or 2 months to put this show up, you know, it was hard work, and you did it, and you made it, and celebrate your body and thank your body and relish in it. And it is not selfish or vain or self-centered to do so. It is the right thing for you to keep performing and honing your craft at the rate and the pace that you want to be at. And that is critical to your success as a performer, is the longevity of your career. These careers do not last long at all compared to like an office job, you know, and doing what you need to do for your body to promote longevity in your career is critical, and it is not selfish. If anyone tells you that it's selfish, leave them. Let that go. But yeah, so a bit of a shorter episode today. I don't really want to wear my voice out as I'm getting over being sick. But I hope you enjoy this performance episode. We talked pre-performance, during performance, and post-performance. And yeah, I think that is all I have for you today. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, our videos come out on Tuesdays, and the audio of this podcast comes out on Spotify for podcasts on Wednesday. You can find me at Tata's Ballet, periods between words, on Instagram, and you can find the podcast at BFA Baby Podcast on Instagram. I am so excited that you were here listening, and thank you for hanging on with my sick voice. Thank you for hanging on and listening. I hope you enjoyed this performance episode, and merit a kiss for your next performance. Mwah.